गति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरुः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरो मम पाहि गुरो सच्चिदानन्तरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेदमभेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकादर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेतः। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. We are seeing Srimad Bhagavada Purana and we are seeing Canto 5, and I have completed up to chapter 6 in my last video, and we saw the life and the way of Paramahamsa way of life of King Rishabha, who is the Amsha Avatara of Bhagavan Sri Hari. He took Avatara to teach people or to show people how to lead the Grahastha way of life, as well as to the rishis how to live the Paramahamsa way of life. And his holy body was burned in a forest fire in the Dakshina Karnataka region. And he had 100 sons, and his eldest son was known Bharata. And before he left the palace, he made Bharata as the ruler of this Bharata. So he gave the rulership of this great land to his eldest son Bharata, and he left for the forest. King Rishabha, he left for forest. And King Bharata, he ruled this nation exactly like how his father King Rishabha and his grandfather King Nabi ruled this land. He ruled this land exactly in the same way, with so much of discipline, and he performed many yajnas and he gave elaborate the dhanas to all the priests and all the brahmanas. And during his time, there was no poverty or any difficulty for any people, because the people were also noble, because they saw the king who was so noble and disciplined, so they were also noble. No difficulty of any time was, whether it is a drought or disease or anything like this, it was not experienced by the people of Bharata at that time. So much great was the rule of King Bharata. And King Bharata, he married a very beautiful girl, Panchajani, and they both had 5 sons. And the greatness of King Bharata was, he felt that somehow these children were not qualified enough to rule this great land. They were also learned in Vedas, they were also disciplined, they were also great people, noblemen, but he felt that these children will not rule this land efficiently like how my father or my grandfather ruled. So what King Bharata did was, he made the son of a rishi to rule this land. And when he felt that it was enough for being in this land and ruling it, so he left for the forest. And he left to the area called Pulahashrama. In that area is famous for worshipping Bhagavan Sri Hari, and Bhagavata says that Yatraha Vava Bhagavan Hariradhyabit Tatratyanam Nijajananam Vatsalyena Sannidhamyatha Icharupena like how the devotees worship Bhagavan or think of him in their mind. In that form, he will appear before the devotees and bless them. So that is the place, that is Pulahashrama is the place where Bhagavan Sri Hari, he pleases his devotees by giving them darshana. So famous was that place called Pulahashrama for worshipping of Sri Hari. And that place also is famous for Yatrashrama Padanyubhayado Nabhibi Drishachakraiva Swachakra Nadhinama Sarit Prabaro Sarvada Pavitri Karoti. Near that place only, that is around the Pulahashrama place only, runs the river that is very famously known as the Chakra Nadi, or it is known as the Ghandaki Nadi. In the Gandaki Nadi only, there will be small stones or sometimes big stones also, where it will have the cavity of the symbols of Bhagavan Vishnu, like chakra symbol, shanga symbol, and angusha symbol, a lotus symbol. All these symbols were naturally formed in that stones in that river, that is Kantaki river, and it is very famously known as Saligrama. So that Saligrama is the stone that is blessed by Bhagavan. That's why it has all these cavities of the symbol of Bhagavan. So anyone who worship that Saligrama should be original. Nowadays there are so many fake Saligramas in the market. But if one get a chance to go to that river and take that Saligrama, then it is very great to worship Bhagavan in that form. So it is around that river only. Sage Bharata, now we can say him as Rishi Bharata because he has left his land and he came to this forest only to worship Bhagavan. So he was sat there, he built an ashram, a small kutil there, and he was doing puja to Bhagavan Vishnu. And he was so pious, he was so deep in meditation, meditating Bhagavan, that is sometimes only he will feel like eating. So then he will get up and go and get some fruits there and eat. If he doesn't get fruits, he is not even he does not even care to take the dry leaves or the leaves from the trees. So the whole time he concentrated on Bhagavan Vishnu, meditating on Bhagavan Vishnu, and all the sandhyas he will take a bath in the nadi, that is in the river. And because of that, he had that matted hair also. And every day, seeing Surya Bhagavan, he will worship him as Surya Narayana, telling this Rik mantra. Paro rajas saviturjhata vedo vedevasya Bargo manasedam jajana Sureda sada punaravisya chashte Ham sangruhranam rishadringriramimaha. This Bhagavan who is beyond this Maya, he is shining there. He is that Surya Narayana. He is shining in that luminous form. It is from him that all this creation came out. It is because of him it exists, and it is in him in the end it will go. So I worship that luminous splendor that illuminates, that is gives fruit for all my karmas. So I worship this sun as Surya Narayana. Like this, he said a prayer every day and he meditated on that Surya Bhagavan, standing worship in that Gandaki Nadi. He will see Bhagavan Surya and worship him as Surya Narayana, who is responsible for giving us all the fruits. And it is from him this entire world came and it is sustained by it, and it is in him it will enter in the end. Like this, every day he will see the Bhagavan Surya Bhagavan as Surya Narayana and worship him. And on that particular day also, he was meditating on Bhagavan, and he was meditating continuously for 3 hours, chanting the Omkara. And he was so deep in meditation at that time. There came a deer. She was big with her young in her womb. And when she was about to drink water from the river, she heard a roar of a lion. Immediately, she sprang from there and she jumped to the other side of the river, to the other bank of the river. So while she jumped in that frustration, fear, and tension, she gave birth to that young deer, that is, young calf. And she was jumping while that she was delivering. So that young calf, that is, young deer, it fell in the running water of the Gandaki river. And Rishi Bharata was doing meditation on the banks of the river. He saw that, and he saw that this young calf deer is just carried away by the current of the river. And that mother deer, it jumped to the other bank, other side of the river, and she was not able to walk more. She took a few steps, she died there. She fell and died there. So all this the Bharata Rishi saw, and he saw that now it is my duty to save this young calf. He thought like that, and he immediately jumped in the river and saved that calf deer. And he brought that infant deer with him, and he thought that this deer doesn't have the mother. She also died, so there is no father also. So as a Kshatriya and as a Rishi, it is my duty to take care of her. So I am her father now. And like that he thought, and he took that infant deer to his ashrama. He gave that milk, and he protected water from, he protected that deer from all his enemies, all her enemies, and fondled her. He was in so much love with that young calf deer, because he thought that it is my duty now to protect it. And all the time he will be having that deer, fondling her, talking to her, and he gave her fruits and that grass, everything. He will go to long distance to get milk and then feed her. Like this, he took over care of her, over attached with that young calf deer. Once he left everything, the kingdom itself, to worship Bhagavan, and now he left Bhagavan for this young deer. So that is the power of attachment. No one knows when we will have come, that attachment feeling will come to us in our life, and towards what. So if he is attached with the money or power, then we can understand. But he is attached, he came to the forest to meditate, and there he got attached with this young deer. Means it is so, just to see the ways of Maya. And all the time he will be with that deer. Whenever he meditate, he will keep that deer near him. And in between meditation, he will open the eyes and see whether there is any lion or anything near her, or whether she has gone somewhere. And if she goes somewhere, and if it didn't return at the right time, then he will be more worried. Will she come back or not? What will I do if she doesn't come back? So like that, he was over worried about that deer. Yeti कृतानुषङ्घ आसन् शयनाढन स्नानाशनादिषु सह मृगजह्नुना स्नेहानुबद्ध हृदयासीत्. So whatever he do, whether he asks sit, shayanatana, whether he sleep and walk, and snana while he is taking bath, Mriga Jahnuna Saha, he always have that dear calf near him, Snehanubadda Hridaya Seed, which so much of love for that calf. So it disturbed his spiritual life a lot. And at one time, he completely forgot his spiritual sadhanas, but so much attached with that young calf deer. Now it has grown into a mature state. And sometimes when he sit for meditation, that calf will pull his dress and all. He used to wear, clad himself with the bark of the tree, or like that. That it will used to pull. He will not get angry. It will disturb his meditation, but still he will not get angry with that deer. Sometimes he will do the yajna, and for that he would have collected grass or summit like that. That this calf will eat, but he will not. He is not worried about it. He was so much in love with that deer calf. Now it has grown into a big deer. So whatever it do, he will not get angry, and he was so much attached with it. And time moved on. And both the deer also now grown up into a big deer, and Bharata Rishi also became very old. So when he was about to leave this body, he was constantly thinking or so much attached with that deer. He thought that what will this deer do? If I go, what will it do? Like that, he was constantly worried about it, having all his thoughts on that deer. He left that body. But by the grace of Bhagavan and by his tapobhara, he vividly remembered everything. Usually, when a person leaves the body, they will not remember anything of the past life. But because of his tapobala and because of his austerity and punya, he remembered everything very clearly in his mind. And because he saw the deer so much attached with the deer at the time of leaving that body, in the next janma, in the next birth, he took the birth of a deer. He was born as a deer. And because he remembered everything very vividly, no, so he thought, he remembered that I was a king and I was so much attached with a deer, and because of that, I got this deer body. He knew everything very well, and he thought that this attachment and friendship or relationship is the biggest obstacle for attaining Bhagavan. He thought like that, and he understood that because it is his own experience. So, from the beginning of its birth itself, from when it was very young itself, that deer did not get much attached with its parents or that same variety of that deers and all. He always used to be alone. And after some time, she left that place itself, that forest itself, and she wandered for some time and at last reached the ashrama near Pulaha and Pulatsya. There she roamed about and she will always gaze about that rishi doing penance and the hut, the ashrama itself. She will just sit in the veranda and see the rishi. So they also like this deer very much, and they also fed this deer. That deer just passed away the time to exhaust its prarabdha karma, all the time living near the ashrama of Pulaha and Pulatsya. So when time came, Bharata Rishi's Jiva now took birth as the deer who is in the deer's body. It left the deer body also. And once in a grama, in a village, there was a pious Brahmana. He was so pious, well learned in the Vedas. He did all the sacrifices, worship Bhagavan Sri Hari. He was such a very good Brahmana. He had a wife and they both had 10 children. Later, that Brahmana married again, and with that second wife, he had twins. There is one boy and a girl. This Bharata Rishi, who became the deer, now took birth as the son of this Brahmana. That is one among the twins. So now he got the human birth. So he remembered everything very vividly that because of this attachment and relationship, I lost everything. I lost Bhagavan itself. So even when he was a very small child itself, he just kept alone. He will not talk to anyone. And he pretended as if he was dumb and deaf so that no one will disturb him. Like that, he will sit in a corner and but always merged in Atma because his practice is there, and he was very well able to remember all those impressions, that is all that Brahma Vidya, everything. So he always um, in emerged in Brahman but sit in a corner like that. He will not talk to anyone. Many people called him as what the child is it. It is not responding to anything. And his father, he liked this child very much, and so at the right time he did upanayana for that son, for his son, and initiated him this Gayatri mantra. He will say the Gayatri mantra, but he will pretend as if he is deaf and dumb, so that all this teaching of Vedas are all of no use for him now, because he has gone beyond that. He is always merged in that Atmic consciousness, so he doesn't want all that Vedic mantras and all. So even when his father teaches him that Vedic mantras, he will pretend as if he was deaf and dumb, but his father liked him very much. But he would not respond to him in any way. So many people called him as Jata Brahmana, that is inert Brahmana. So he was like just like that, not interested in anything, not interested in any worldly life. And time passed on, that father also died. And along with his father died his mother, that is the second wife of that Brahmana. And now Jada Bharata was left alone. That is, Jada Brahmana was left alone. And his brothers, they were also very good. They were all very good Brahmanas, noble, learned in Vedas, everything. But this boy will not respond to anything. He will just sit like that and always, but he is an Atmic consciousness which other people do not understand. So they all did not like him very much. And after the passing of their father, they felt that he is an extra person in this family. They felt like that. And they will not give him food. But Bharata, that is this Jada Brahmana, he had a very strong physique. So he will do hard work to get food. That brothers, that is his stepbrothers, they will not give him food as it is, because he is always strong, very strong, and he will not respond to anyone in any way. He will not talk to him, or we will not, he's not cared about anything. So they thought that do some work and get the food. So even the brothers employed him and gave him food for work. So he stayed in that house for some time, and he won't tell anyone that I'm going or come. I will come at this time and all, because he felt that this body is something, a burden I have to carry. This body and mind I have to carry, and I am that Atma. He was in that feeling always in his life. And he one day he went outside, and he was walking here and there. So the people will call him and give him some work and give food for that exchange. Sometimes that food will be very stale food, not good food, hygienic food. He won't care for all that. He will take it. And he was not aware of the body itself, so he cared less for the body, and he did not mind cleaning it also. He was not aware of all that, that is his body is unclean or like that, because he will sit anywhere on the ground or on the floor. So all that dust and clay or anything got deposited in his body. He will never take bath also, because he's not aware of the body consciousness. And people call him as a mad Brahmana or a Jata Brahmana, and they disturbed him very much. So once he went inside the forest. While he was going in the forest, many people came running there. They are running here and there, searching for something. What happened was, there was a Kali temple, Mahakali temple, in the center of the forest. And the chieftain of that tribe, forest tribe people, he is issueless, so he wanted a son. And he has decided to give the human blood for Mahakali. So he held that his relatives and the people, soldiers of that chieftain of that forest tribe, they held a person from the city and tied him to the tree nearby the Kali temple. But after some time, that person escaped from there, and he ran away. He ran to that city, back to that village itself. And while they were coming searching for that person, that escaped person, they came face to face with this Jada Brahmana. So they thought, why to search him? Now here is another healthy person, very strong, and they all caught him. He did not do anything. He just accepted it, and he went along with them. He did not restrict anything. When they caught him and they said, We are going to take you to the Kali temple," he said, "Okay, I will walk." And they took him there. And how the ritual has to be performed is that whether it is animal or the human sacrifice they are going to do. They have to clean that body, give food, and then only they will take the blood out of that being. So, like this, Jada Bharata was given a very good bath, and he felt convenient because he has not taken bath for many days now. So he just kept quiet. He accepted all that and he kept quiet, and they gave him a very good food. They decorated his body with chandan and all that perfume, like that thing, and vermilion. They applied all that. He was very beautifully decorated. They put him garland and all. So all the time he accepted everything and he kept quiet, but he was always reflecting on his Atma. He was all merged in the Atma consciousness. He was not even aware of the body. What he felt is this pain and happiness, dishonor, respect and disrespect, heat and cold, pain and joy, suffering, and everything is only for the body and mind. But I am not that body and mind. I am Atma. With that consciousness, he sat there. And the priest there, he chanted the mantras, and at last he took the sword to cut the head of this Jada Brahmana. And at that time, because of this Brahmic luster of this Jada Brahmana, the Bhadrakali, in the ideal of that Bhadrakali, she got invoked, and she just came out from that idol with a roar that is enough to bring everything down. That like that she roared, and she just came out and snatched the sword from the hands of the priest and cut the priest at first, and she drank his blood. Then the chieftain, then all the people who caught this Jada Brahmana, he drank all the blood, and now she just uh, caught Jada, that's Jada Brahmana, and just patted his head and cheeks and all that, and she lifted him. But all the time, Jada Bharata did not realize itself, because he is one with that Bhadrakali, and he is not aware of his body. So he just saw Bhadrakali like this and walked away. And Bhagavata says, Yevam yeva kalu mahadabhicharati kramah kransnyatyenatmane phalati. Bhagavata says that whoever disturb or insult or do harm or hurt the bhaktas of Bhagavan, he will come to rescue that bhakta. That's what is said in Bhagavad Gita also in chapter 9. अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्. I will take care of their yoga and shema. That is, I will take care of what all they have to earn, and I will take care of what all they have earned to protect them. So if they think always of me, I will do all that, says Bhagavan Krishna in the chapter 9. So the same thing happened to that Jada Brahmana also. Bhadrakali came and she protected her, killing the people who all heard this Jada Brahmana. But the Jada Brahmana, he just said, thank you, okay, and he walked away. So, what happened to Jada Brahmana after this? I will continue in my next upload.